Hello everyone and very warm welcome to this video lecture series in which we are talking about neural networks and deep learning. Till now we have covered three video lectures in this series and now this is the fourth video lecture. And in this video lecture we are going to talk something about binary classification. And further in the few video lectures, we would be using the logistic regression in order to binary classify our training examples. Okay, so there are some points to mention before we start this video lecture. Now, in the few video lectures that I would be teaching you further, we are going to talk about something about the iteration over the training examples because earlier if we use Python for machine learning, we were earlier using something called the loops for iterating over the M training examples. Here M is the number of training examples that we have. So we explicitly use for loops for iterating over those examples. But we have seen that when we use for loops, that method was not quite much efficient, and the complexity of algorithms increases exponentially if we use for loops over the algorithms. And the next thing that we are going to see while teaching about logistic regression and binary classification is the propagation steps. Because when we learn about the neural networks generally follow a forward propagation process and a backward propagation process. And these propagation steps basically helps any neural network to achieve much accuracy within the course. And the third thing that we need to see before we study about these lectures is basically I would convey you the idea of binary classification by using the logistic regression. Okay, so what do you mean by a binary classification algorithm? So by binary classification, we mean that we have two classes to classify. Mainly, we classify these two classes as output values of 0 and 1. So let us look over through this example. Here we have an image. You can see that this image is of a cat. And in the binary classification problem, you need to classify whether this image is a cat image or a non-cat image. So if this image is belongs to the cat, or you can say that if this is a cat image, then the output of the algorithm would be 1. And if this image does not belongs to the cat, or this image does not shows of a cat, then it would output as 0. Okay, so this is the binary classification problem that we are having here. Okay, so now look over to the image that is given to us below. This image basically represents the pixel values, or basically the RGB values of the image that is shown above, image of a cat. So basically I have already told you that when we solve about a problem of photo tagging, the image is basically broken down into the form of pixels. Okay, so you can see here, suppose that if this image is of 64 by 64 pixels. Okay, if this image of is of 64 by 64 pixels, then the RGB value shown here would also be of 64 cross 64 pixels. Okay, although I have not represented these images in the form of 64 cross 64 pixels, these images are of 5 pixels cross 4 pixels of images. But consider it as a very simple example through which I want to explain you now. We have already seen that each pixel can be represented here in the form of a red, green, and blue value. So each pixel will have a specific value of a red color, of a green color, and of a blue color. Okay, so we can consider this as a form of an input. And how we could apply this in the form of an input to the neural network? We could create a feature vector X that would be the input for the algorithm. So how can we create a feature vector? Let us suppose that capital X represent the feature vector, and we need to make a feature vector. So how this would be represent? We would represent it as, firstly we would represent all the red pixels, that is 255, 231 and so on. Then the green values as 255, 134 and so on. And subsequently we would be writing here the blue values also, 255, 134, 93 and so on. So in this way an input feature vector is created that would be supplied to the learning algorithm in the form of the input. Okay, so now it is the time to judge about the dimensions of this input feature X. So in overall what we have is 64 cross 64 color palette, and we have three of these color palette, that is the red, green and blue color palette. So total number of features that we have here in the form of input X are 64 cross 64 cross 3, because we have three color palettes R, G and B. So that total counts to be 12288. Okay, so we have this much number of values in our input feature vector X. And basically if you want to write about the dimensions of this input feature X, input feature vector S, so the dimension n of the input feature vector X would be 12288. We could also represent this input feature vector X in the form of n. Okay, so this point has to be noted very specifically, where we are finding about the dimensions of the input feature vector X. So now this is a kind of a supervised learning algorithm problem in which we have an input feature vector X, and based on this input feature vector X we are going to predict the value of Y. So here Y is our output feature vector, and one thing to specify is that input is represented in the form of a feature vector, so output would also be represented in the form of a feature vector. Okay, so if we are taking M training examples for training our algorithm, then M would also be the dimension of the output feature vector Y. Okay, so now move over. So here, firstly, we need to, before solving any neural network problem, we need to firstly define some of the specific notations that we are going to use in the few more video lectures that I would be teaching in the next lectures. So specifically an input the training example, that the training example that we are going to apply to the neural network algorithm, we are going to note this training example in the form of an X comma Y pair, where X is the input feature vector and Y represents the output. And we have already seen that the dimensions of X would be, the dimension of X would be nx. So it would be an nx dimension vector, and corresponding to the input features X, we need to find Y, where Y generally would belong to 0, 1, since this is a binary classification problem. So in binary classification, basically we need to find the probability that what is exactly the chance that the output of the image would belong to a cat category or a non-cat category. And as I've already told you, in this algorithm that we are training, we would be having M training examples. Okay, so we would be having AM training examples. So how these examples would be represented, I'll tell you. So each, as I've already told you, each training example would be represented in the form of X comma Y. So the first training example would be represented as Xi comma Yi. The second training example would be represented as xi comma y or x1 comma y1. Second training example would be represented as x2 comma y2 and so on. So if there are m training examples, so mth, the last training example would be represented in the form of xm comma ym, because there are total m number of training examples. Okay, so now before training any of our neural network algorithm, we need to firstly segregate the data set in the form of a training set and a test set. So what are the notation for defining the training and training set, test set? I would be telling you here. So m train would generally represent the training set, and m test would generally be telling you as the test set. Okay, and hashtag m, that is hash, would represent the number of training examples, and this would represent the number of test examples. Okay, so now we have already seen the input feature vector x, and if this input feature vector x could be represented as suppose we have, if that was the input feature vector when we have that we have seen in the previous slide, this feature vector x, this feature vector was the representation when we have a single number of training examples. But now suppose that here we have m number of training examples. So for m number of training examples, how would we represent the input feature x? We would represent it as follows. So here would be the first vector x1, and we would list out all the features of x1 here. This would be x2, we would list out all x2s. This would be x3, and we would list out all the features corresponding to x3, and so on. So if there are total m number of input features, so this represents xm, and corresponding to all xm we would write features here, and this would be a matrix. Okay, so as I have already told you in the previous slide, that the input total number of input feature were the nx. So nx was 12288. So here also the number of input features, that is the number of rows would be nx. So nx number of rows, and corresponding to nx number of rows, since we have m number of training examples, so this would be nx cross m input feature vector. So if you would specifically write as the dimensions of x, so it would be represented in the form of nx cross m input feature vector. And specifically, if you solve this with the help of python, you in python you have a function called x dot shape, where x is the name of the input matrix which you are applying to the shape function. And when you apply the x dot shape, so the shape of this input feature metric vector comes out to be nx comma m. Okay, now as I have already told you that if input is in the form of a feature vector, so obviously the output y, as we have been told, would obviously be in the form of a output feature vector, output vector, and this output could be represented as follows. So here we have, since we have x number of training examples, so we would also have y number of outputs. So the first output would be represented as y1, the second output would be represented as y2. Okay, let us make a bracket here, and the third output would be represented as y3, and so on. So if we have m number of training examples, so corresponding to that we have y number of outputs, and the dimensions of y output vector would be represented as 1 cross m, because we have a single row and m number of outputs. And if you work on with python and you apply y dot shape function, so the dimension of output vector comes out to be 1 comma m. So this is the basic representation which you need to keep in mind before working on to the neural networks. And we are going to use the same notations in the next few video lectures. So always remind these notations. And if you need if you suppose that if you forgot as what notations represent what, so you can refer to this video lecture in the future also. So thanks for watching this video lecture, and I hope this video lecture would have been much informative to you. Don't forget to like this video, share this video within your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you once again.